Beetlejuice is loose. I'm gonna make you so happy.
The living, the dead, can they coexist? That's what we're here to find out.
Where's Beetlejuice?
You asked for it for decades, and it's finally actually happening. The long-awaited sequel to 1988's Beetlejuice will hit theaters September of this year. Cleverly titled Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, you'll notice a few familiar faces, such as Michael Keaton, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara, who will all reprise their original roles. You'll also see a few new additions, such as Wednesday's Jenna Ortega, the great Willem Dafoe, among other notables. There have been sequel rumors for Beetlejuice as early as 1990.
The year of the bagel bite.
With Batman in theaters and director Tim Burton hard at work on Edward Scissorhands, again starring Winona Ryder, British playwright Jonathan Gems would be hired to write the sequel script. Of course, now we know it didn't happen. Gems' script would be scrapped, but he and Burton would collaborate a few years later on the now iconic film Mars Attacks. The concept for Gems' script and the working title all wrapped up into one. You probably guessed it, Beetlejuice goes Hawaiian.
The fuck?
The script is wild. The story has Charles Dietz wanting to exploit a biodiverse natural wild land on one of Hawaii's islands. He decides to build Dietz's Paradise Resort Hotel under the picturesque volcano on the island. Come to find out, they are building their resort on an ancient burial ground. A group of lovable surfers and potheads begin protesting the build of the resort. Lydia meets and falls for one of the activists. Ghosts from the burial ground curse the island's waves. So Lydia, representing her new friends, goes and speaks with the island elder, a man named Mr. Maui, who teaches Lydia how to create waves by singing like a whale. Knowing they need Beetlejuice's help to fix their curse problem, Mr. Maui also convinces Lydia to meditate and enter the afterlife. In this case, a subatomic universe where she rides molecules and meets a man that is only a head with feet, named Dave. She sees a whole lot of wacky shit, like a thing that has lungs for eyes, Sasquatches, etc. All this to convince the Beetleman to sign a contract stating that he won't, well, big plot hole here. We actually don't know any of the stipulations. But just like that, the Beetleman is back on the scene. There's a surf contest, a day or two where Lydia and Beetlejuice become mermaids. Beetlejuice gets the wedding back on using a love potion and walks the resort freely as oil baron Monty Exxon. Beetlejuice turns into a giant killer moth. Ortho's face bursts into flames at one point, and Dilly exclaims that she hopes he hasn't been freebasing again.
No more freebasing. Now, like I said, I'll take a drink, and I might even smoke a little reefer every now and then. I'll smoke a little reefer, but freebasing cocaine, as far as that goes, I don't do it.
Lydia sings more whale songs, and oh yeah, Beetlejuice grows his head really huge and declares himself Jucifer, unleashing his anger on the islanders with evil tiki heads, dinosaurs, and the like.
Okay.
The same year, Warren Scarrett, who contributed to the first movie script, also wrote a sequel script. The working title was Beetlejuice in Love. Though the title seems cheesy, word was that the script was pretty good. Unfortunately, Scarrett died of cancer before subsequent drafts could be made. Hard to say how, but that project was slowly getting somewhere. Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder had both agreed to return for a follow-up, but conditional on the fact that Tim Burton would direct. Burton hired Daniel Waters to do a rewrite of that crazy Hawaiian thing. Then Warner Bros. Gave Burton a choice. Do a follow-up to Beetlejuice or do a follow-up to Batman. He picked Batman, and he took Daniel Waters with him for the script. In 1993, Variety published news that Pamela Norris had been hired by the producer to take a stab at the Beetlejuice sequel script. It went nowhere. Kevin Smith was also approached, but it seemed to sizzle out. Until the early 2010s, at least.
Hollywood loves a good sequel.
After working on Dark Shadows with Burton, Seth Grahame-Smith was hired for the script. Keaton, it appears, was also involved in the development. Smith said,
"We talked for a couple of hours and talked about big picture stuff. It's a priority for Warner Bros. And it's a priority for Tim."
That's Mr. Burton if you're nasty.
He went on saying,
Michael's been wanting to do it for 20 years, and he'll talk about it to anybody who will listen.
Fizzle, fizzle.
in 2013, Winona Ryder admitted that there was something in the works, but that she would remain closed-lipped.
Fizzle, fizzle, fizzle.
In 2017, Warner Brothers wanted a rewrite, so they hired Mike Vukadinovich.
You think I'm gonna be insensitive and make fun of his last name, but I'm not gonna do it. You can't predict me. I'm unpredictable. I'm not even real.
Burton and Keaton still seemed in, and they were, quote, excited at the thought of collaborating on a sequel. But in 2019, the death knell was sounded. Warner Brothers put out a statement that the sequel had been shelved. The film was no longer in active development.
It's moving. It's alive.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
In February 2022, Brad Pitt's production company,
Called Hubba Hubba Row Productions.
called Plan B Entertainment, put out a statement that they had picked up the film and that it was going into pre-production, but that the script did not yet exist.
Oh, hell.
To make matters worse, 8 months later, in October of 22, Burton told reporters that he wasn't involved, but the next day he backpedaled. Who knows what happened the night he spoke those words, but the next day he admitted that the film was in its earliest development stages.
Why does everything in Hollywood have to be so damn dramatic?
By May of 23, it was confirmed. Wednesday's creators Alfred Goff and Miles Miller had written the script. Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara, and Winona Ryder would return, and Wednesday's Jenna Ortega would play the daughter of Lydia Dietz. 99% of the way through the shoot, the Actors Guild began a strike that seized production.
I have become emotionally vested and I cannot do this anymore.
It's all good, bro. Look for the 100% finished Beetlejuice coming in September. Ciao for now.
It's alive. It's